We have some brand new die cuts from Katy Designs, and there are 4 sets, and there's just so much you can do with them. In fact, one of my favorites is this card. You can see the poppies, the arch. How fun is that? And I had a great time. These cards went together the fastest of any cards I've done. So please, come play with us. Well, before I get into the cards, let me just show you what these are. There are, as I said, 4 sets. Every set has 3 sheets. You can see the full sheet on the front. And as you can see, like this has 3 different images, and so you're going to get 3, 6, 9 of these. And this is called Pots of Flowers, and yes, I used it. The flower patch, again, it's actually got more. I think it's got the roses, it's got these, it's got here, so this has got 4 of them. The blue hydrangea has blue hydrangeas, as you can see. And then they call these corn poppies. I would just call them poppies. Maybe the corn, but that looks like oats. I'm not sure why. Anyway, that's what we have, and so you get lots. Now, the first time that I used these, I used our Dazzle 'em cards. This time I did something different, and I'm going to start with this one, and this is the blue hydrangeas. And the card that I made is this one. And as I said, this was so much fun to do. And it was so much fun to do because I found the perfect papers to go with it. Happened to be luscious lace. But more importantly, I wanted to tell you how I found that out. So on our website, if you typed in luscious lace, then you would see this image and you would see these little thumbnails down below. If you press on this one, the one that looks like a patchwork, you would see this. Well, what was so neat to do was to print that out and then take this and go, well, can I use these papers? And all I did is exactly what I'm doing right now, is I just kind of ran them next to it. Well, obviously, probably the purples and the greens are not maybe what I want. I do want the blues. But yeah, there's lots that would work. So all I did was pull out the pack. Okay, did you get this technique? Because it's really, really neat and it makes it really easy. And Debbie keeps a notebook. She slips these into a sheet protector, writes the name that it came from, the pack that it came from, and also the item numbers, because we need that for our directions, and keeps a whole binder of these, and it makes it so easy. So I really do want to share that with you. So remember, you will always have it at paperwishes.com. Okay. So we've got the luscious lace, and I pulled it out, and I've got this sheet, and what am I going to do? So then I pulled out this sheet because I thought it was so pretty, and I went back to my magical acetate, and I thought, okay, now what can I do? Well, I kind of don't want my butterfly at the bottom, so, but I do want a butterfly in it. So I would probably do this, which is exactly what I did. So I pulled out this sheet, trimmed off the top of it, and then I used it to cover my card. This is my 6.5 by 5 inch card. Worked perfectly. And then I also saw that when I on this sheet, you've got one image that has a background. Whoops, it has a background. And then you have all of these pieces that you can just pop out. So I decided that I did not want to use this because I just really loved that lace. I thought it was so pretty, and I thought the butterfly worked really well with the hydrangeas. So I elected to go with these pieces, but I recognized that they were going, so I popped them out and I put them on here, and I could make them a little bit tighter together than what this is. So I could do that, but then I might lose this little butterfly. So I pulled out my self-healing mat, and I took the paper before it was glued onto my card, and I just used my pen knife. This is the one that when you push the end, it's going to expose the blade, and that blade is super tiny and super sharp, and just went right around that smallest butterfly, pushed the button, which retracts the blade, which keeps it safe. And that way I could lift that up and slide the hydrangeas underneath. Okay, so when I glued this down, I just made sure not to put any glue under there. Okay, so just put glue around the edge, put that in place, and then I used, of course, my craft mat, which I won't bring out, but used the craft mat. I used the royal blue and my blender brush, and just went right around the edge with that. And that just gave me some definition around the edge, and I thought that worked nicely. Now, bringing in my hydrangeas, so I used, like I said, these two and this one. I moved this one closer. I just did one other layer on top. So I used the foam tape, and then I just put like this one and the blossom up there and another piece right there. I used the happy and foam tape that in place. The other thing I did, can you see the shine on those jars? I love to use the crystal lacquer because it just gives you that look of glass, and I think it just adds so much to your project. And so you want to just kind of push it around with the nozzle. You do want to let it dry. It's going to take, kind of depending on how warm it is in your house, it might take a couple hours. So just get everything in place and let it dry. And then you've got your card front done so easily. Then for the inside, I took that same paper, and on the back side of it you have this piece. So you've got another of the lace, but you've got lighter and darker colors. So I cut a strip of that and glued it down here. The directions are down below, so you can just use it. And then I pulled these pieces. So this piece and this piece. I think I lied to you earlier because all I used here were just these extra pieces, okay? So I used the whole piece here and here, and then you've got some extra. You see all of these pieces, you've got tons. You've got tons. So just choose what you want. Put birthday there. Then I did go back to the paper pack and I did cut out one of the butterflies because I thought they were so pretty with it, because you've got all this lace and you've got the hydrangeas. And I did use the crystal lacquer again on the bottles. And then I used the white ribbon set to tie a bow because I just thought that kind of needed one more thing. And I used this sheer ribbon because I didn't want anything to detract from the hydrangeas, both on the front and on the inside. So it's a sheer ribbon, but I think it just adds a nice little touch. So I've got lace butterflies, I've got hydrangeas, and all consistent through my card. And that was fun and easy and quick. So that was just really nice. Okay, so that's card number one. Now, I did the same thing for all the cards. So I'm going to show you card number two. And this one is using this set of decoupage, pots of flowers. They call them decoupage. I call them die cuts because they are die cuts. Now, in this one, you can see I use this on the front, and then on the inside, I use the pansies. Okay, but both of them have a lot of yellow and green. So I went to our website and I clicked on, actually I clicked on several things, and actually I went to Debbie's binder and looked at what had yellow, and Be Happy had yellow. And I just went back, okay, so what can I do that's going to be yellow and green? And just looking at this, and it was just perfect. Okay, so Be Happy. I took the 12 by 12 because it gave me kind of more options than the 6 by 6 I felt. So here's Be Happy. And here's what I selected. So for the front of my card, I used this sheet, and I loved that bee down there. And you could use this bee, but I thought that bee would be really cute. So I wanted to cut this smaller than my card because this has got white and I wanted that white edge to show. So I did that. Then I went into our dazzles, and this is the Fancy Border Primary Colors. And it's got, let's see on my notes, blue, red, green, brown, yellow, black. So the green just popped, did a nice job. And then I also went into the inside outside primary colors. Same thing, it's got all those colors, and I put Sending Warm right there. Now, this is, as I said, going to be this little guy. And there's not one with a background, so that was fine. So I just glued this down and I put that rim right underneath it. And then I just took a few, like I put this one and a couple of them and just placed it. Now, I remembered that we had some wooden bees. So this is how they come to you. They're all bundled together in a hive. And I foam taped that in place. And I just thought that was really fun. Now, the next thing I did is for the inside. So I went to this sheet. Now, as you know, you probably know, in all of our paper collections, we have one sheet of these large cutouts. And I thought, well, that would be cute. I could do that with the pansies. But I loved this one because I thought I wanted to have that bee kind of going from the front to the inside. And I thought with all of these yellow daisies, then the pansies would really pop because they've got so many colors and nothing would be fighting with them. And so what do you think? So I cut that out and I just put the pansies in the middle and glued this piece, foam taped this piece on top. I loved that bee circling since I have some bees on the front. And I got two of the dazzles that I used on the front and thoughts that I used on the front also. And I just thought it came together so well. And it was so easy finding the papers on the website. So neat. And I still have the daisies that I can use, plus I've got two more of these two. So I am set. Plus I've got the 12 by 12 paper, so I've got plenty of creativity going on, and the dazzles too. Okay, so that's my second thing. Now I wanted to do something different for my third card. Well, of course I did. And look what I did. Okay, now this one I am using, wait a minute, I don't want to get my stuff out of whack here. This. Okay, this is called Flower Patch, and this is the one that has several on it. So this time I'm going to use the roses in pink. I'm also going to use the roses in red. Okay, let me show you how I did it. So what's true about both the roses is the green, obviously. So I did my magic with Debbie's binder and going to the website and all. And this is what Romantic Florals looks like. So I've got the darker tones, but I also have the greens. And so I felt like I could do something with this. So this is what Romantic Florals looks like. It's really pretty, really, really pretty. So what I did is I took this one and I thought that I would use this to go with my soft pink. But you'll notice that this is not kind of really a focal. It's really a beautiful accent. So I went to what goes with flowers, well, birds and butterflies. So bird cages. So I went to our bird cages cutting die. This is kind of slipped down here. And I cut it out of the gold, rich gold. There it is. Yes, beautiful. 10 sheets in there. And with this, you get not only the bird cage, but you also get the chain that's holding it, and you get the bird on a branch. Now, I wanted to be able to see that bird. So I decided to mix my metals. Now, not everybody likes that, but I thought it really worked well, especially here, because then you can see the bird. It isn't gold. And I didn't want to make it blue. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted you to be able to see it. So, since I used gold for the cage, I used silver for the bird and just trimmed that. So I put those two, and I felt like I could have these roses going on the side. You know me, I like to do things a little different. And place that, and then so place the first one, that's going to be the one that's fullest, and then foam tape the second layer. And I think that's all I did. I might have added a couple of pieces, so that's fine. That You Are in My Heart, that came from the Romantic Florals die cuts. There you go. Because as you know, we have complete sets of things. So that's what I did with the roses. I hope you like it. Now I did something different for the inside. Now again, that's going to be the darker one. So what do I do with that? Oh, I forgot to tell you something. I did ink the edges. Okay, I used the craft mat with my blender brush and khaki on the edges. I just love the look. It just, to me, finishes it, kind of frames it. So did that. Now for the inside, I went with this paper. This is out of the Romantic Florals. And to go with these, and here is the result. So I was happy with that. I hope you are. But I did something different. So I still have the gold for the second bird cage. Where did my bird cages go? There they are. So you get two different kinds of bird cages, which was perfect for the front and the inside of the card. But then this bird is out of silver glitter, because I still wanted the definition between gold and silver, because I wanted you to be able to see it, but I didn't want to duplicate. So I gave it glitter, and I'm really happy with that. And in order to get another greeting, I needed to put it up here. So that's also one of the die cuts. And this I inked with, this is cocoa bean. Cocoa bean is a darker brown, so that worked well for me to do the edge of that. So just worked really, really well. Oh, I do want to tell you one other thing. In doing the cutting dies and so forth, because there are a lot of little pieces, I did find that my old friend Sticky Specs worked so nicely for putting it down. Especially, you've got that chain, and you've got lots of bits and pieces in the bird cages. So you just go ahead and cut this out, and then you take your Sticky Spec and pull back the liner and place your die cut piece on here. Then put the liner back on, gently press, don't make it hard, just gently let some of those millions of little dots get onto your piece, and then position it on your card. Be sure to put your little bird down first and put your chain, position that, and then your bird cage on top. So I was very happy. I also I've got two kinds of bird cages, and I've got gold cages, but I've got different silver birds. Got this on the edge. I've got my grading down here and also up there. So that worked well for me again, but it was so quick. And let me just show, well, okay, yeah, so that worked well. So let me move on to my last card. And this is the one that I showed you in the beginning. And this is obviously using those corn poppies. And with this was interesting because I wanted to let you peek into this piece. This is pretty wide, as you can see. And this is another one that has a background that I didn't use. But then it's got the full piece, and then it's got all of these layers that you can add. So what I elected to do was to use the cutting die. But what are you going to cut, Paulette? Well, first you have to figure out what paper you're going to use. So I used, as she's fumbling here to get it out to show you. Okay, so with the poppies, I knew I needed orange, but I also had some yellow in here. And what perfect thing to go to than our poppies paper, but just to make sure, I looked at this sheet, and because I wanted to do the arch, I knew I'd need solids, so I just went ahead and looked at the solids too, and of course it gives me everything I need. So that was good. So for my card, I elected to use this sheet because it's got this nice kind of muted background, but it's going to really allow my die cuts to show up, which is exactly what I want. And for, well, actually, let me just stop there. Okay, so that's what I elected to use. That's in my poppies, which is just perfect. Couldn't have planned that any better. So with this, on my card, I did cover it with the paper. Then I positioned my arch right here. Now, I first did a little manipulating to make sure that my arch would show. What I wanted it to do was just to show part of my poppy. My idea was that then when you opened it up, oh, it would be bigger. And I thought that would be kind of a fun reveal. So that's what I was planning. So I did the arch, and then because I was using a die cutting machine that was 6-inch wide, and this is 5.5 inches, I put the cutting die there, I put a piece of cardstock over it, and I put this piece in place that didn't have anything on it, ran it through the machine. That worked nicely. Okay, then what am I going to do for the arch? Well, I had several choices for papers. In fact, these are the ones that I chose. So I had a soft yellow, a bright yellow, and an orange. And I kind of played around with it. Gee, did I just want it to look like that? Did I want it to, that would work. Or did I want it to be a light orange? That would work. Or did I want it to be an even lighter orange? Or did I want it to be a bolder orange? Obviously, I'll generally go for the bolder statement because that's the kind of gal I am. I do like to see that contrast. So I used 2 of the dies and on the solid and put that right there. The Grateful for You, just like the last card, it comes from the die cut, so that worked nicely. Then I positioned the larger piece so that you could see some of it, but not all of it. So you just kind of do a little finagling. Technical word, you might want to write that down. Okay, and then using foam tape to add the layers, and that was very fun to do. Now there isn't a lot of room left, so You Are Amazing just fit nicely down there. So Grateful for You. And I did use the mustard to ink the edges of the front and the inside both. So the mustard is just a darker yellow, as you can see. So that worked nicely. So not only do we have 4 different cards, but hopefully you have the technique of how to find the perfect papers quickly and easily using the website. And then as you print off the papers that you've purchased, you're going to have a wonderful collection that's going to make it so easy for when you get product like this. So this is, as I said, they call it die cut 3D decoupage. We have a tendency just to call it 3D or decoupage or die cuts. And this is the money saver for today. And the money saver, as you know, is over on the right side of the screen. I've written all the directions. They're down below. I hope that you like all of this. I hope you like hearing the tips and tricks of why I did what I did and how to not only duplicate them, but maybe use them and make them your own. So that's very fun to do. So I want to tell you, if you're watching us on YouTube, we hope that you will like us. Let's see, like us, subscribe, and then head on over to Paper Wishes. Take advantage of that money saver. Yes, I know I do talk with my hands. And if you would like to print off the directions, you're welcome to do that. Print off the cards, you can see them and take advantage of them in the saver, because when we get these in, we only get them one time, so I don't want anyone disappointed. So, and they're a good price, so that's nice. Okay, I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for joining us. I hope you're enjoying Paulette's Paper Play, because I'm having a great time. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.